Yo, what's going on? What's happening? One thing that I realized about black people, and this is real, the majority of black people never want to be held accountable for their actions. That's real talk. And this is the reason why a lot of people don't like my channel. A lot of people just don't like anyone in general to tell them the truth. Why? Because when you tell someone the truth, then they have to be held accountable from that point on for their actions. This is what I learned. And this is the reason why I know you may not care. Specifically you, I'm talking to you. You may not care. But as a collective, this is the reason why other races look at us as being children. We don't want to be held accountable for our actions. That's real talk. And neither do we want to take any type of responsibility, in our lives. Like we want the government to do it. We want to put all our responsibility in the hands of someone else. And this is the reason why, this is the real reason why we're in the situation that we're in. Straight up. You have to be held accountable for your actions. And it's just the truth. And when you are held accountable for your actions, you understand why, the reason why you did what you did, if it was something wrong, you understand it. Guess what? You understand it and you improve and you move on. It's that plain and simple. The reality of it is we don't hold ourselves accountable for our own actions, and neither does anyone else. We're like children in this place, man. Called America, spelled with 3 Ks. Straight up. Chasing after the shiny things in life. Ooh, look at that shiny car. Look at that shiny house. Look at the shiny chains. I want one. That's how kids act. I want to eat this. It tastes good. I like the taste. I'm not concerned about how healthy the food is. Just how it tastes and how it looks. I don't like that. That looks nasty. Yeah, but that's healthy for you. But then when you get diabetes, high blood pressure, and the list goes on of physical ailments, because of the fact that you were eating the shit that you don't supposed to eat, which is shit, junk food, you don't want to be held accountable for it. You want to say some dumb shit like, oh yeah, that does run in my family. You want to, blame it on your genes and shit like that. It's hereditary. No, it was because you were eating fucked up. That plain and simple. Our priorities are screwed. And this is the reason why we're a race that's destined to fail. No one wants to be held accountable for their own actions, and they don't want to take responsibility of their own lives, let alone their children. You know how many times I've heard this people argue, fight, and bicker when it comes to these public schools? Oh, they're not teaching my child right. They actually go to the public school that they send their child to and argue and damn near fight the school teacher. But dig this though. You never took the time to educate your child. It was never an option for you to say, it was never optional for you to be like, yo, you know what? The hell with someone else schooling my child. I'm going to take them out of the school, the public school system, and homeschool them. That was never an option. It wasn't optional. Straight up. Because you don't care about your kid. And you want to take your kid's education and put it into someone else's hands and allow someone else, a stranger that you don't know, to educate your child. And then when they don't educate your child properly, you want to bitch and complain about it. And here's the kicker. Most parents don't even give a fuck about a child being educated. Really, to be real with you, the public school system is nothing but a daycare to a lot of these black parents. And that's real talk. A free daycare. While a parent goes to work, they don't have to worry about the child and them having, you know what I'm saying, to pay. They could just send them off to public school. We don't care. We don't give a damn. We bitch and complain, you know, like let's just say, for example, for the sake of the conversation, you know, Donald Trump wins the presidency, right? You know, say he becomes the next president of the United States, right? And let's just say black people, because a lot of black people are actually voting for him this year. A lot of black people have left being a Democrat and have now joined hands with the Republicans, right? So let's just say things don't go your way for the next 4 years, right? Then you want to bitch and complain about that. But what did you do? What did you do? Did you put any money into Donald Trump's campaign? Because this is how, no, seriously, this is how you win on Capitol Hill. You wet people's beaks. What do you think corporations do? It's a whole bunch of lobbyists during election season on Capitol Hill. Straight up. We're the only race that thinks that we're going to get someone put in the seat and they're going to look out for us for nothing. That's real talk. Up there in Capitol Hill, in D.C., it's a money game. And this is how you get laws passed. This is how you get things worked in your favor. But black people don't, they're not into that. They think that their popular vote counts. And it don't count for shit. They think that going to the polls and voting is as far as they should go. And wonder why they're in the situation that they're in. Straight up. You got to be held accountable for your actions. You got to prioritize your life. And then when you do that, you'll see change. The change that you've been longing for. Until then, if you continue to do the same thing, excuse me, let me say this, because I don't want to put black people over there and ostracize myself. Until we continue. As we continue to do the same thing, expect same results. Until we do something different, this is what's going to happen. It's going to be an ongoing skip record. Just keeps on skipping and skipping and skipping. And we just going to pass down our fucked up mentalities to one generation and the next and the next and the next. Until there'll be no black people in existence anymore. We can't keep on crying. Because I know that's what y'all like saying, you know, that I do. Man, all you do is rant and cry and this and that, so forth, and blah, 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 blah. Well, guess what? You got to talk about shit first. Like, I can't even get black people to acknowledge that we fucked up in the game. Why? Because it seems like every black person is on this individual shit. Well, you know what, man? I ain't fucked up in the game. I got money. I ain't fucked up in the game. I got money saved. I got, you know, my 401k plan and this and that, so forth. What about we and us? That's real talk. Because I can tell you the non-blacks over there, they don't think, and neither do they say shit the way, like we do. And this is the reason why they winning. They don't put all their responsibilities into the government, into religion. That's another thing. And we're not relying on the government to help us. Then we're relying on a God that we have never seen before. Some claim to say that they spoke to him. Well, if that's the case, then why is it that that God spoke to him and that God blesses them? Why is it that God specifically blesses you? Here we go back to individual and being looking out for yourself as an individual. Why can't your God look out for us and not just you? Straight up. You know how many churches there are? Like, I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being real. Real talk. We can go on a scholastic level. You know what I'm saying? Or we can be on some common sense shit. Like, I know the Bible. Like, I don't know the Bible like that, but I'm saying I know the Bible. Like, I know Bible scriptures. I studied the shit. So please miss me with the bullshit. You're not talking to like somebody that don't know Christianity. I used to be a Christian. That's the first thing. And then also on top of that, once I walked away from religion, I studied it. I studied it. But we don't have to go there. We could just look at it on a logical level. I like looking at shit like plain and simple. You know how many fucking churches there are in the hood or in black communities overall? It's obvious that either you're praying to the wrong God or the God that you're praying to does not exist. And the question is when you gonna get up off your ass and actually do? Because in all actuality, based on the Bible, it said God only helps those that help their own, that help themselves. Straight up. So everything that you're praying for, when are you gonna get up off your ass and actually do the things that requires you to get what you're asking from God? Straight up. I hate. They say hate is a horrible word to use. I'm serious. I hate the state of mind that we're in. And that goes from whether you're low class, black, middle, or high class. I've seen this same type of behavior that I'm talking about, where you don't want to accept responsibility or you don't want to be held accountable for your actions. In my family, in my friends, people that have money, black people that have money, black people that don't have any money. Shit, in the black community, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like the adults, people that are older than you, they don't have to be held accountable for shit. That's why I don't fuck with a lot of older people. It's like, well, do as I say and don't do as I do. And this is the reason why the youth don't want to listen to us. Because we quick. Older people are quick to put younger people in check. But when younger people put older people in check, it's all about you need to respect me, and you don't this and that, so forth. Ho. Yeah, I truly understand it. I truly get that at the end of the day, there's a way that you're supposed to say things like respectfully. Right? But I'm not disrespecting you because I'm telling you the truth. You know how many people that I don't fuck with, that's older than me, that I actually just want to lay that shit out and let them know how I really feel about them, and that people can see through your bullshit, especially when you start popping that religious shit. It's crazy to me, man. It's crazy how black people, man, there's a lot of black people that just don't want to take being responsible for their own lives, let alone their children's lives, in their own hands. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions. And that shit is crazy to me. Crazy. You want Zaddy to help you out. You want Zaddy to do everything for you. And then when he put his foot up your ass, then you want to cry and say, you know, that's not fair, and walk down the streets talking about some we shall overcome and all the rest of that shit. You can't have it both ways. If you accept help from the government or from your white God, because you know that's who you praise and worship. You know how many churches, when I used to be a Christian, you know how many churches I've been to? Oh, actually, my mother took me to, and right there in the pulpit, it was a white Jesus hanging off a fucking cross. So please, don't miss me with that shit. Don't tell me it don't matter what color don't matter what color Jesus is when you got a white Jesus hanging in your house or in your church. So you praising white Jesus, you asking the government for help. But then when the white man, non-black, bops you over the head, you want to scream, police brutality, ain't right, it ain't fair, and this and that and so forth. Hey man, you can't have it both ways. You can't. You're not going to ever be equal. There'll never be equality in his world. You want to know why? Because it's his world, his artificial world that he created. You think he gonna treat you equal? You think he gonna treat you fair and equal in his so-called house? You think he gonna let you take your shoes off and prop your motherfucking foot up on a coffee table in his house? You out your fucking mind. But see, this is the problem. Black people just don't want to create their own house. And if and when you do, you'll be able to prop your feet up on a coffee table and can't nobody say shit to you. Until then, you're going to have to deal with the consequences. And it's just that plain and simple. This is the reason why I push for black people to create their own. And you won't have to worry about slave patrol, because that's what the fuck they are, driving around your communities, harassing and fucking with you. Because you'll be policing yourself. You won't have to worry about the public school system and how they're miseducating your children, because you'll be educating your children your damn self. You won't have to worry about what they putting in your food, whether it's genetically modified or it's hormones putting in the milk. And this is the reason why your 6-year-old kid got triple D's, daughter got triple D's. She wearing the same bra you wearing. You won't have to worry about that shit, because you'll be growing your own food. But this is what happens when you take the responsibilities that you have as a human being, as a father, as a mother, as a son, as a daughter, as an aunt, as an uncle, as a cousin, as a friend, and put it in somebody else's hands. This is what happens. You want to negate everything. You don't want to be held accountable for shit. I tell you to eat better, and you say, man, shit, you gotta die from something. Then when you die, what happens? Because the state of mind before you died, I told you, yo, you got to eat better. You didn't want to listen to that. So then you continue to eat the way that you were eating, and then you drop dead. One way or the other, you're going to be held accountable for your actions. One way or the other. Even if it's to your own demise. Even if it's at your own demise. I think that's how you would say it. So yeah, man, I say, black people, let's get it together. No, seriously, this is my word. We know exactly how this story goes. Every year it's the same shit. The United States of America spelled with 3 Ks is going to be the same way it was 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. If anything, it's going to just get worse. We already know. We already know prices are going to go up. You know what I'm saying? Our quality of life is going to go down. We already see this. It's not a, well, what can you do moment. Well, what can you do? My father used to say that all the time, man. Man, it's a white man's world. What can you do? Fight, motherfucker, or just leave. We already see, black people ain't stupid. We already know where this is going. So it's either we abandon ship while the shit is sinking, not at a slow rate, at a fast rate, or we drown along with it. We sink along with the fucking ship. Make up your goddamn mind, and it can't be like yesterday. Excuse me, it can't be like tomorrow and 10 years from now. It got to be more like yesterday. Other than that, man, I'm just going to stop feeling sorry for us as a race. You get bonked over the head, George Floyd, dead. The list goes on. Breonna Taylor, dead. The list goes on. Every year or every couple odd years, a death is highlighted. Outside of all other deaths. Tamir Rice. The list goes on. You already know how this shit is going to play out. So when another death happens, don't be surprised. But one thing I want to be surprised about is black people waking the fuck up and saying, you know what? Hey, this is hell. And I want some type of peace in my life. And I'm going to do whatever it takes in order to get it. Until then, I'm out.